The plan for today now is to get all these screws out so that I can replace them with ones that aren't all messed up and are actually going to be usable. I imagine a few of these at least are going to require some hammering and a chisel. And once I've done that, I think I'll just pull this whole unit out and replace it with the one off of the bike that I know works. And then I'll be able to just put things together. Screwed up again. I set up a camera to record me knocking these things out with a chisel, so I had to get every screw except for this one and the two main mounting screws. Those barely work, these guys. And this screw wasn't stripped out too bad. But I had to chisel out each one of these other screws where all the adjustment is made. So I'm just gonna, now that I've got them loose and I can just pull them off whenever I need to, I'll be able to go get replacements for them. It's not hard to replace a screw. It doesn't make any sense to damage something that badly and leave it in an engine. Go replace a screw if you wreck it. So I'm gonna just swap out the points from the engine I know is good, put that in here, and I'll deal with the screws when I feel like going somewhere. Okay, so I'm not crazy, I'm just a little stupid sometimes. I thought something didn't seem right with the timing. I did put the mystery pin in the right bag and just neglected to put it in the right spot afterwards. This goes into the cam on the timing advance side. There. And just like that, there's no more extra pieces for this engine. Points from the other engine are in here, so let's try this again. Set the gap and get it so that it's opening at the right time. That's good on the low end of things. Let's make sure it doesn't go too far, too wide. Seems good. Almost like I set this up once before. Oh, could have been bad. This other one is definitely not set right. That's not nearly enough gap. And these screws aren't in much better condition than the other ones. There we go. Back that off a little bit more. A bigger screwdriver in there. Get the right feeler gauge. Right there. What an eventful few minutes this has been. If you see that timing mark, let me see if I can hold this light. That timing mark should be there for where this mark here. This mark is supposed to be at the top when that mark is lined up with that mark. So now that I finally found where that pin is supposed to go, I have to undo everything because it looks to me like my cam is off by 1 tooth. So whether that is a matter of the chain being stretched or me just installing it wrong, I'm not sure. The only thing that I can be sure of is I've got to take the cam cover off again. Crap. It's time to figure out what exactly is going on here. Yeah, that mark is off. That needs to be straight up. That looks like a 1 tooth difference to me. So I'm just going to pull the chain adjuster right out. Off, and I get it like that. I think that'll do it. Just going to bring it all the way around again to top dead center. Okay, now that's right. So now I get to scrape off all the liquid gasket and start again. And I'll probably have to check the valves again because the odds are I screwed up the valve adjustment because the timing wasn't quite right. Time to recheck the points. See if this stuff actually lines up properly this time. Okay, what's closed? This one is closed. And it needs to be open now. Right there. Well, that sure is a lot easier when the cam is set properly. Engine is in, all the bolts are done up. Time to put that in there and then put the cover on the other side. I should probably connect the chain. I'm going to change out the spark plugs to ones I know will work. And Kickstarter, foot peg, you know, just button up a few things. Exhaust, obviously need that too. So yeah, put on the filter adapter, button up everything else, carburetors, and see what'll happen. Well, things are pretty messy in here, but everything is connected. There's oil. Everything except for the spark plugs, of course. There's oil, and let's see. Uh-oh. There better not be something else wrong. Why? Okay, so there's a problem with the Kickstarter mechanism. It is not returning properly. It seems to be installed at the end of its stroke. That is going to be a lot of hassle to deal with. So why is it not returning on its own? Here I thought I had it installed correctly. Now I've got to take that whole cover off again. But we're not doing that now. I want some good news today. So no Kickstarter. And of course there's no starter button because I never intended to use the starter after today anyways. Gas is on. Oil has been circulated. Choke is on. Doors are open. Oh, what's going on here? Gas coming out the oil filter, or the air filter. That was a sticky float for sure. Now, did tapping it free it up? Doesn't seem to be leaking anymore. But I am not hot wiring this engine with a bunch of gas lying around. So unfortunately, that has to be it for right now. So I got everything put together. But the Kickstarter return mechanism isn't working right. So I have to take all of this off to be able to fix that. And since I don't have a properly functioning Kickstarter, I was gonna have to just hotwire the electric starter to test this thing out today. And then it dumped gas everywhere because of a sticking float in the carb. So now I can't really go and cause a bunch of sparks right above that pool of gasoline. How many times do I have to take this cover off before I get it right? I obviously screwed up. I thought for sure I had this set up properly. I had to screw around with it a lot today, or to get it installed, but to get this off, the exhaust has to come off. I'm just going to lay the bike on its side so that I don't have to dump all the fresh oil I just put in, but that's a whole extra bunch of work to do now. I thought today was the day that this thing was going to run. I thought for sure this was the day. It's the nice thing about projects like this, is you never run out of stuff to do. Yeah, the gas on the ground has evaporated. There should still be gas in the carbs. I've at least got to try this. I'll be kicking myself if I don't at least see what happens here. Alright, positive to positive. A lot of sparks. And that's kind of what I expected. Let's see if we have spark in the plug at all. We don't have fuel on the plug at all. Ho ho ho! There's definitely spark. I think this battery is also not gonna make it. This battery is not intended for starting something like this at all. Alright, it started. Oh, that revved up really fast. And the choke wasn't even on. Well, there it is. I did say I knew it would run, but I didn't know if it would run well. It runs, but it doesn't run well. I'll have to figure all that out.